recording.
Okay. You don't have to stay. All right, so yesterday we briefly spoke about, well, for like 2 minutes, the problem of the day. So I want to revisit this problem, and we are going to figure out how to compare fractions on a number line with like and different denominators. It's easy to do it with the like denominators because you just have to look at the top part of the number. We talked about that. But when they're different, we're going to figure out today how to use a number line to see which is bigger and which is smaller. We're going to actually create these number lines. So Jason, can you please read the problem of the day aloud again?
Brian is making a cake. He has to cook 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 5/8 of a cup of water. Brian's measuring cup has quarter cup markings, but doesn't have eighth cup markings. He decides to estimate 5/8 cup of water. Is 5/8 less, the same, or more than 3/4?
Okay, so we briefly talked about this, how quarters are fourths. And in real life, this may happen to you. You may have a measuring cup, and it may show only a certain measurement. So in order to estimate where 5/8 would be, you have to compare it to 3/4. You have to say, is it a little bit more or a little bit less, or is it equal to? So in order to do that, today we're going to look at this on a number line. Yesterday, Timmy spoke about, well, briefly we talked about how to make the denominators the same. That's another day's lesson. Today we're just going to talk about using the number line. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to show you. Now, if you've ever seen a ruler before, you know where a fourth mark is. You know where a half mark is. So this is 1 inch. Now, we blew up an inch. This is starting at 0, and this is going to 1. It doesn't matter which inch that you're talking about. It could be between 5 and 6. It could be between 7 and 8. You have to understand how many pieces the inch is cut into. So when you look here, we're going to look for the halfway mark, which is the second biggest mark. So if you look, when I count on a ruler to find how many spaces is in between, you have to do something I call bunny hopping. You're just hopping between the spaces. To find the halfway mark, I'm going to count 1, 2 pieces. Do you see how that makes that into 2 separate big gigantic pieces? So from here to here and here to here, that's 2 parts of the inch. So that's a halfway is in between. To find the fourths, you have to split that same inch into 4 pieces. So in order to do that, I want to look at what mark is going to give me, if I jump 4 times, 4 equal pieces. Now if I go from here to here, that's 1, 2, 3. No, that's not right because I need 4 pieces all together. So that can't be the line. So I'm thinking that it's going to be the next biggest line where it says 1/4 here. You see how this is the next biggest line? Yes? Yes. Okay. So they're telling you from here to here, this space right here in orange is 1/4. Then you can easily see from here to here is another 4th because they're equal spaces apart. Does everyone see that? Yes. And then this is another 4th, and this is another 4th. So when you're bunny hopping, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I find that this is 1/4, the middle line is going to be 2/4. Well, what else is the middle line equal to? A half. Where? I put 2/4. It looks like a 4 to you? Oh, you know, that's the line. Sorry. That's the line. This is a 2. Okay? Now, this line is going to be 3/4. And then 4/4 we know makes 1 whole because you have 4 out of 4 pieces. Now, in 5th grade, you have to know up to 8ths. But I think that we can handle up to 16ths. You're just counting the spaces. So let's find the 8ths. They mark it for us? Yeah. So the next biggest line, which is this line, is the 8ths. How many 8ths are going to make a whole then? Raise your hand and let me know. How many 8ths do you think are going to make the whole inch? How many parts do we need? Yes? 8 out of 8 parts. So you have to figure out how 8ths can be evenly spaced, how you're going to count up to 8 with evenly spaced marks. Now, we're going to use the second biggest mark. Now, if you notice, There's not 8 of those because we're using other marks when we bunny hop. So this is going to be 1/8 as it says. 2/8 is the same as what?
1/4.
It's the same as a fourth or a quarter. Okay? Now we're going to hop again. This next line that's equal to this line is 3/8. And then we have 2/4, 1/2, or 4/8. And then we're hopping again to 5/8. And then we're going to go to 6/8. It's the same as 3/4. And then 7/8. And then obviously 8/8 is a whole or 4/4. Now I know this is kind of jumbled up. We're going to make our own inch that we're going to blow up. But if you notice here, the problem of the day asks which is bigger, 3/4 or 5/8. 3/4 is right here. 5/8 is here. This line right here. So when you're estimating, if he needs to figure out, what was the question again? I forgot.
Which is bigger? Wait.
Is it less or more than 3/4? Is 5/8 less or more than 3/4? As you can see, it comes before it on the number line, so it's less. So when you're estimating, you're going to go a little bit less than 3/4 of a quarter of a cup. Okay? You can make a number line with any amount of pieces. This is just with an inch. It's relevant because you use inches to measure when we use the ruler. So if you look at the 16ths, 16 of them are going to make up an inch. So they're all the little marks here. So if you bunny hop, you'll see this is 1. I wish I had a marker that worked. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4/16, it's not really working, is equal to 2/4 and 2/8 and 1/4, okay? And so on and so forth. There'll be 16 spaces in between. You have to make sure you're not counting the lines, because if you count the lines, you're going to be off. You have to count the spaces in between the markings to find out how many pieces the ruler is cut into. So on your test, they would give you something that would look like this. They would draw a number line. I know it's kind of hard to say. They would draw a number line, and they're going to make markings on that number line. Okay? And they're going to put a little dot here and say that's A. And maybe they'll put a 1 and a 2. And they're going to ask you, pretend like this is a 1. What fraction represents A? So in order to do that, you have to then again bunny hop. Now what I'm showing you here is drawn with my free hand. So it's not equal space. On your test it's going to be. So you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a line here. So there would be 5 spaces in all, right? So the bottom number, the denominator would be 5, and this is at 1, 2, 3 out of 5 parts. Okay? It's simple. What you have to do is count the spaces first. That will be your denominator. That's how many parts the picture is cut into. Just like we spoke about when we did fractions, the bottom number is how many parts it's cut into. And then you're going to see how many parts are shaded or are skipped to. So this would be, if you would see, I'm not going to draw a circle because that's too hard. If I would draw a picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 5 equal parts. I would shade in 3. That's 3/5 or 3/5 over. Okay? Questions so far?
No.
We're going to practice a bunch of these on the number line. It's going to become really easy once you practice. You just have to remember, don't count the lines, count the spaces. All right, so we're going to make our own ruler right now. We're going to blow up an inch. And this is something that you can use as a reference tool. Yes?
For the problem of the day, can't you tell that 5/8 is less than 3/4 because on 5/8 more pieces are being cut out?
Okay, so we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Now, if you look on your number, if you looked on the ruler I gave you, or you can look on my number line here, you can notice that, what was it, 5/8 and 3/4? 5/8 is here and 3/4 is here. They're very close to each other, here and here, you see? Now, when you draw a picture, if you don't draw it exactly to scale, which is hard to do when you're drawing freehand, you might not be able to tell whether or not it's bigger or smaller. Now, I can't draw very well, so I know that if I drew those two pictures, they would probably look very similar. So, for instance, this is what Corey is saying. Where did you draw circles?
Yes.
You drew two circles. See, now right away, I know my circles aren't even the same size, so that really throws me off to begin with. So if I drew 3/4 and I colored in 1, 2, 3, 4, now 8s. I have to cut this. Is that 8s? One more piece. So then I would color in 5 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks equal. You know what? I didn't draw them perfectly on purpose. Number one, I can't draw very well. And number two, it looks almost similar. So unless you have fraction pieces like we have, when the fractions are very close like that, it's hard to tell. Now, if I asked you what was bigger, a half or 1/8, you would say a half is bigger because you know that 8 pieces, if you cut something into 8 pieces, you're going to have smaller pieces. If you cut something in half, you're going to have bigger pieces.
Yep.
Some of them are more obvious than others. These are very close, so it's hard to tell. You don't want to make a silly mistake. Yes, Rodney?
It does look the same, but it's just one eighth missing for me equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Good observation.
It was 6/8.
Okay, so if you were using fraction pieces, which I can give you to use, then you would have no problem because you would take 5/8 and 3/4. You would notice that you took 3/4. These are the purple pieces. That's not purple. I think I showed you this yesterday. Did I show you this? No.
Yes.
3/4. Now, if you took 5 brown pieces, these are 8s.
It's only like a half of one.
How many do I need? 5? Now, if you want to use these, obviously you can. But the point is, you're going to try to not use them because on the test you can't use them. But they're good for visuals. What?
What use is you for to
Hold on one second. Do you see? It's missing an 8. What's the use of manipulatives? Because it gets you to visualize what's really happening so you understand the concept behind the fraction. If you could think about it in your head, because you've seen it before, when you see, like when you watch a movie, you've seen the picture, you can kind of remember what you did. You can kind of visualize what you've done with the fraction pieces. Yeah, because this helps you visualize what you did. And it also gives people background information. If you've never talked about fractions before, you can see what half looks like, what an eighth looks like in comparison to each other. Yes?
Another way that you could, I think, I just made this up. Like you see how you have like 3/4 right there in that one circle?
Yep.
You know how you added at least 2 more lines to make your eighth?
Mm-hmm.
What you could do is add 2 more lines to that 3/4 circles and color in color in 5/8 of the pieces and make it a different color so you can see if it's bigger or smaller.
So what do you mean?
So like take like a different color marker,
Right.
and add 2 lines of
To this piece right here?
Yes.
2 lines?
Same thing that you did to the other circle.
Okay.
Like,
And you're trying to tell me that 3/4 is bigger now?
yeah, because can I show on the board?
Yeah, go ahead. I see what you're saying. Because this would be a 4th. If you looked at that would be a 4th, and 1 out of the 4 pieces.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. 'Cause you can see that
And
it's
if
an
you
eighth.
colored here, the whole thing is colored in.
Yeah.
That's a good way to visualize it also. That would work. Do you see that? Do you see how this part has the... If you look at it like it's a 4th, here, 1 out of the 2 pieces of the 4th is colored in. Here, the whole thing is colored in. You see that? That also works. Good job. Okay. Questions so far in this? No? No? Okay. Alright, so you're going to get a sentence strip. You can just use your pens. Later on, we have time. You can make it dark if you want. Are you tired? Mm-hmm. Figure that out. Where's mine? Well, I'll make a new one with you. Is that 9:15? Yep. What? What don't you understand? When you're counting the equal spaces on a number line?
I have to wait for my father.
The picture? What Jason just said you don't understand? That's what you don't. Which part don't you understand?
Miss Lee, you want me to explain it to Kyle?
I got it. No, you just. It doesn't matter.
That is so
I need one more piece for you. Alright, Kyle, look up here. Jason was saying that this is split into 4 pieces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is split into 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pretend like, do you see how I drew the red X in between? Now, do you see the 4 pieces? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see them? Okay. Now each fourth is cut into 2 pieces to make it 8. So you see that? So there's 2 pieces in this one, there's 2 pieces, 2 pieces, and 2 pieces. This one doesn't have it split up, right? So this is colored in fully, this is colored in, this is colored in. If you look over here, if you color in 8s, you're coloring this whole piece. This is 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8. Okay? Now I have a whole 4th left here and a little piece. Okay? Over here, I have just a 4th left. Do you see that? Yeah. So this has more shaded in than this. That's what he was trying to say. Can you see that now? Okay. All right. You have your fraction. You have your fraction sentence strip in front of the side. So it's going to be your inch. I don't care if you start at 0 and go from 0 to 1, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. It's just going to be an inch blown up, okay? On mine, I think I went from 1 to 2, because that's where people have more trouble. No one really has trouble from 0 to 1, but when you get from 5 to 6, it's not a 4th, it's 5 and 1/4. So don't get confused, okay? So now, the first thing you're going to do is find your halfway mark. This is going to be to scale because we're going to fold it so it's nice and even. So to find your halfway mark, you just fold it in half. Cody, Timmy, you going to join us? Fold it in half, you're going to get your halfway mark. Now remember, when you're making your marks, the inch marks, you see how I have 1 and 2? They're the long marks. The halfway mark is a little bit less in length than the inch marks, right? So when you make your half an inch mark, make it the second biggest line on your inch because you have to make it look like it's real. So the halfway mark is going to go in the middle. You're going to draw a line and write 1/2. Draw a line in the middle, trace over the crease, and write a half. Why don't you do it on the side that doesn't have all those lines so it's easier to read? Turn it around. Turn it around, like this. Look, I don't want to write on the other side because it's going to be hard to see. Use the blank side.
I need to refold it.
So underneath your halfway line, write 1/2. Write half.
Underneath it right here?
Wherever you want, wherever there's space. Next to it, underneath it.
Why'd you do it that way? Why'd you do it that way?
Yep. It doesn't matter. Oh, you got one? It doesn't matter whatever you want to start at. You're going 0, so 1 should be here.
Upside down.
This is going to be... Guys, this is only 1 inch, so in your head you should be thinking, I'm blowing an inch up and making it really big, just like the one I showed you on the overhead. So you can put 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3. So whatever it is an inch, okay? So once you have your halfway mark, fold it again in half. And now you're going to fold it again. How many pieces do you think you're going to make? 4. So the first piece is going to be 1/4. Make that line a little bit smaller than the half line because you're showing a fourth. Check your partner, make sure they're doing it correctly. Hello? Yes?
Wait. Where to put it?
Okay.
I'm scared. Put it right here.
Okay.
1, 2,
All right, bye.
right here.
What? You have 4 pieces?
Yeah.
So then this is 1/4.
Oh, because I thought the crease was supposed to be.
The crease is a fourth. So where would 2/4 be? Next to what?
Half.
So 2/4 is going to be the same as a half. So if you wrote 1/2, underneath it write 2/4 because they're all equal to each other. Then you have 3/4, and then 4/4 is going to be your whole. So whatever inch is on whatever whole inch you're measuring to. Yes.
I'm just scared.
No, 3/4 is the same size as the 1/4 one. Okay. So this is 3/4, and then this will be 4/4 or 1 whole. You need 8ths anyway, so this is going to be your 4th right here. Yep.
Do I like write the whole number?
Yeah. Look at mine. You see I wrote the whole number on the side? You could do that. Because next to my 2, I have 4/4. Because 4/4 make a whole. Yes. That's right.
Yeah, me too.
1/2 is equal to 2/4, isn't it?
No, I know, but I wrote 20.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. If you wrote 1/2, write 2/4 next to it or underneath it. They're equal. Or put equals 2/4. It's the same thing. Got it? What happened? What happened?
Now let's make 8.
Were you watching me? You have to watch.
Next is 8. Next we're making 8.
You're just watching and focusing what I'm doing because you're not. What are you doing? Not listening.
8.
Okay, let's talk about this one more time. 'Cause I have people that aren't listening and they're just folding whatever they feel like folding, and that's not the point of the exercise. Xavier, pick your head up. Do you want to go to the nurse? Okay. The first thing you were supposed to do is take it and fold it in half because you're finding the halfway mark. You opened it up, you wrote half on the halfway mark because it's halfway between 0 and 1 or 1 and 2. It's half of your paper. So if you bunny hopped, this is half of what I drew. So underneath you write 1/2. In the middle, underneath. This side is going to say either 0 and you're going to have a line. And this can say 1. You're going to put a line there and write 1 next to it. Now, after you've found the half and you've opened it up and you've labeled it, I said to fold it in half again and fold it in half again. If you do that and open it, you're going to have 2 more creases that appear. Here and here. You're going to make them smaller than the halfway mark. Because those are fourths, because you see you folded it now into 4 equal pieces. This is 1 piece. This is 2 pieces. 3, 4. So underneath the first crease should say 1/4. Then here where it says 1/2, next to that or underneath it you can write 2/4 because we know they're equal, right? Then the next line, I'm going to move this over because it's not exactly even. The next line is going to say what?
3/4.
And then next to the whole, you can write 4/4. It's the same thing. What are you doing? Yeah, you put way too many lines. Turn it around and use the other side. I didn't think this was that difficult. All right, so most people got their fourths. Do you have your fourths? Do you have your fourths? Let me see. Beautiful. You know, if you see your partner struggling, help them. Good. 4/4 or 1 whole. Check your partner around you. Make sure they've done it correctly. Excellent. If you got it, then you can do 8. After you folded it twice, you have 4ths. Fold it back up on all the folds and fold it one more time. And if you open it, you're going to have 8s.
It's supposed to be like this.
So if you notice, I want you to notice something. There's going to be a little fold here. Make the line smaller and write 1/8. Then where it says 1/4, you see how it's folded on 1/4 also? It's equal also to 2/8. Did you notice that? That fold was on 1/4 or 2/8? Yes or no? Yes? Then you have another fold, which is going to be 3/8. Make another small little line. Where would 4/8 go?
Near the half mark. I mean, at the
So
bottom.
how many numbers should I have at the half line? I have a half, I have 2 fourths, and what else?
4
4/8.
4 is half of 8, 2 is half of 4, 1 is half of 2. And then you're going to have 5/8. Where should 6/8 go?
3/4. 3/4.
Let's see who can get that. Where should 6/8 go?
Oh, with a 3/4 mark.
3/4.
3/4 mark.
And 8/8 should go at your hole.
Look at the camera.
Xavier, I'm not really happy with what you're doing right now.
You fold it again.
Make 16ths. Yeah, let's make 16.
Who thinks they got 8 down?
Me.
Okay, so now I have a question. Which is bigger? 2/8 or 1/4? Which is bigger, 2/8 or 1/4?
Oh, wow.
They're equal.
Yes.
Which is bigger, 7/8 or 3/4? 7/8 or 3/4?
7/8.
How do you know it's bigger? How do we know it's bigger? Yes, Corey.
Because more pieces are shaded in than 3/4.
Well, on the number line, how do you know it's bigger?
Oh, because it comes like after 3/4.
It's closer to the hole. Yeah, it comes after it. Good. If you want to now fold it to make 16ths, you can. So that means you have to take it, put it back with the 8s, and then fold it again.
Yeah.
And then make sure you have 16ths. Use your bunny hop and count.
Oh, I have
You know what? You can just see right away on the folds what's equal. I noticed right away that 1/8 is going to be equal to 2/16 because it's on that fold. 2/16 is equal to 1/8. You see that? Because 1/16 will be here.
Oh, I'm going to 1/16.
No, 2/16 is equal to 1/8. If you want to do 16ths, you can. You don't have to. No. Yeah, there is. You can keep going.
Yes, there is.
Get
Aren't there
it?
18s?
Get your 8s.
There are 18.
Jeremy, you got it now? Sure? Okay. You should also have 2 fourths
Oh, I
here.
put 18 instead of 16.
Awesome. You got it now? If you want, you can use the other side. Oh, you made a mistake. Got it.
You still made a mistake.
was
drew
a
a line in
mistake.
front of it by accident.
Don't worry about it. Guys, if it's not perfect, it's okay. It's a reference tool for you to use. And you can make this anywhere. You can make it in your notebook, okay? This is how you do it. The reason why we're folding is because we want the parts to be equal.
Yay, I finished.
Let me see. What's this line right here then? This is 1/8. What would this be? 2/8 or 1/4. Go ahead, write 2/8 underneath.
Oh, yeah, we
So
have to
stop,
go
you're gonna have too many
downstairs.
things written. If you want to, you can. Wow. What?
Can we go up to Miss Hoffman now?
No. You're not going now. They just called it.
It's really cool. No.
What?
Okay, time
Awesome.
to fold it. You're gonna go to the 18th?
You need to be paying attention because you're gonna get left and lost in the dust. You
Yeah,
understand?
the 17th.
Corey, can you make sure he's doing this right? Help him because he didn't label it all correctly.
Okay.
Jordan, how you doing? Did you get it? Did you get it or not?
3 8.
Yeah, I put some on
Is it right? Okay. Check with your partner. For now,
We got to
it's
try
not gonna
that.
take very long because now we
We
know
have to
what
make
to
it
do.
really.
What comes after 16?
17th. I mean, yeah. Wait, 30 seconds.
32.
That's a lot. Wait, 16 times 2.
All I know is I'm not doing that. Wait, 3-1, Jason.
Let's see, I'm ready to take the risk. Dang it, I folded it wrong. You could go up to
Alright, so
There's
let's,
only even numbers.
once you're done, I want you to start looking at that sheet I just gave you and look at number 1.
I'm ready to take the risk. Go. Don't fold. Good got Yes.
Are you alright?
No, because it was gold.
Alright,
Open.
are you looking at the sheet?
Are you alright? These are 32. Are you alright, man?
Look at number
I
1.
don't think I can do that.
Did you hurt yourself?
This is something you may see on your test, so let's focus right now and look. I'm gonna put that away. Now, we just made a number line on our sentence strip. If you look here, you're gonna see something similar. It's the first one is between 4 and 5. So something was happening between 4 and 5. You notice the little tick marks? Jeffrey, do you notice the little tick marks between 4 and 5? This is what we're looking at right now. Do you see them? Do you see the lines? Okay. In order to find out what my fraction is, what the denominator is, I have to bunny hop and now count all of the spaces between 4 and 5. So with your pen, just like Ryan did, can I see yours for a second, Ryan?
It's
Do you see
8.
how, look, please look at this. Do you see how he bunny hopped? 1, 2, 3, 4 with his pen? You have to count the number of spaces between 4 and 5. Everyone do that now. Count the number of spaces between 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4,
3,
5,
4,
6,
5,
7.
6, 7, 8. 7 out of 8.
7.
You're not counting the lines, you're counting the spaces, and that becomes your denominator, because that's how many equal pieces it's cut into. Thank you. Can you bunny hop like I told you? 1, 2. Come on, you're not focused today.
So that becomes a denominator.
No, I didn't count 7 pieces.
It's 8 pieces. Oops. Wait, what?
Who can raise their hand and tell me
Oops, sorry.
how many bunny hops they did? Jeffrey, how many bunny hops did you do? 8. So you know, shh, that between 4 and 5, it's cut into 8 pieces, and they're equal. Now, you see that little dot?
Yes.
They want to know what the dot represents. How many pieces is it cut into up until the dot? So now you're going to go back and bunny hop and count again until you get to the dot.
What?
You're counting the lines. You're not counting the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6. Be careful.
So it's 6 eighths.
So what should your fraction be, Xavier?
6 eighths.
6 eighths. It's cut into 8 parts total, the first one. And the little circle eyeball looking thing is at 6. So your fraction is 6 eighths. Everyone do number 2 right now.
7, 8, 9, 10.
You're not doing this correctly. You have to count all of the spaces.
Wait, what? 6.
Yeah, right? Just look, if he knows it.
Between each one. Alright, let's revisit number one, please. Shh. Let's revisit number 1. Notice how it's between 4 and 5. So it's not going to be 6 eighths. It's going to be 4 and 6 eighths. It's between 4 and 5. So next to 6, you should write 4 and 6 eighths. It's going to be a mixed number because it's more than 4. It's not between 0 and 1. If it was between 0 and 1, then it would be 6 eighths. Okay? So make sure you write 4 and 6 eighths. Yeah, I saw that you did that. When you get to number 2, how many total pieces are there when you bunny hop the whole way across? Ayana? 10 pieces. Now when you bunny hop to the little circle, Ayana, how many pieces was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So my fraction is 2 and 5 tenths. Or 2.5. If you look, it's halfway between. Number 2. You gotta fix it.
Say what?
It's 2.
It'd be 2 and 5 tenths.
Or 2.5.
Or 2.5. See how it starts at 2 and ends at 3? You see that?
Oh.
Okay.
Would this be like?
Okay.
So it's 2, 5.
Everyone
Why
needs
is it
to
a
focus
mixed
now.
number? Why is it a mixed number?
Alright, everyone now look at number 3. This is a tricky one, and they might do this to you. You see how it says 5, 6, 7, and 8? We're interested at looking at the number of parts it's cut into between each number, between each inch. So, let me just show you. It says 5, 6, 7, and 8, and in between each is 2 lines, right? So it was 5, 1, 2, then 6, 1, 2, then 7, 1, 2, and then 8, right?
Yeah.
Yup. You're right.
Okay. And the line was here. So when you get something with multiple numbers, you have to count the spaces between each number. So let's start at 5. There's 1, 2, 3 equal parts between 5 and 6. So my denominator is 3 thirds. Each piece is cut into thirds, not inch, whatever the piece is. Each piece is cut into thirds. So here, 1, 2, 3. We know they're thirds. 1, 2, 3, just to check. Now where's the little spot?
Between the 6 and 7.
The first spot between the 6 and 7 here, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be 6 and
1/3.
okay? You have to count how many pieces you need.
I can't even fold
I
it.
don't know if it's 6, I didn't count. Do it? You guys doing it?
Yes, you can.
Cody, please stop with that
You
one
have
now.
to be
Let's
strong.
count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 12 and 5, 6.
Let's go with you, Jordan.
6. Good. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The last one. Obviously, the number line was cut off. How many spaces are between 12 and 13? Jada? 6.
6.
Count again.
Wait, huh?
1, 2,
1,
Don't stop here. Stop here.
oh, 6, 6.
Oh, 6.
So it's going to be 12 and
5, 6.
5, 6.
12 and 5.
Got it? Alright, if you count the spaces after the 13, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. The number line was just cut off. It's not finished. That's all that happened there, okay? Don't even worry about that because they didn't ask you about it. Questions on this?
No.
Okay. For homework. For homework, you're going to get something very similar. No, they didn't. They got something different. I'm going to show you what your homework looks like. The top is just converting mixed numbers and improper fractions. We've done that. It's a little bit of a review. 16, 17, 18, and 19 is what we just did with the ruler and the number line, okay? You should really have no problem with it. If you have a problem with it, just star the ones you don't understand. Take this home with you, please. The fraction strips.
Just like it. When you go to Miss I'll tell you to that's the area.
Alright, so just as a closing remark, how could you use your number line, listen, to compare 5/8 and 11/8? How could you use your number line to compare 5/8 and 11/8?
Did you just say Jimmy?
What do I need to draw? If I'm going to draw 8s. Rodney. Now I have to split this into 8 equal parts, right? Oh, I can do that. Is that 8 parts? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I have to find 5/8, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be right here. But how would I find 11/8?
6, 7, 8.
How would I find 11/8? Only 3 or 4 people can give me an idea? 11/8 looks like this. It's an improper fraction.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Hint, hint, it's more than 1. Cody, you look like you want to tell me. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, so I have to extend my number line.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to be 2, right? So that's 5/8. This would be 8/8. 9/8. 10/8. Would this be 11/8? It's the same thing as 1 and 1, 2.
1/3.
1 and 3/8.
Is it the same?
Yes.
8 times 1 is 8 plus 3 is 11 over 8.
So it's bigger because that's bigger.
Yes, it's bigger. That's how you would compare the two. Okay? You have a question? Alright. I'm coming around to finish handing out your homework. Who didn't get the homework? This whole front row, right? Alright guys, start cleaning up please. Who else didn't get the homework?
Dario.
You guys got the homework over there? When we leave, okay?
It's not time to leave yet.
It is. You guys gotta pack up. What do we have today?
Health.
Health? Oh, good. You dressed up for Valentine's Day for us? Just be careful when you're over here. I know what you're not gonna do, alright?